Hey there! Welcome to the 21st episode of the It's Thugwig Nasty podcast. The podcast is now old enough to drink alcohol in America. Hopefully this podcast is one of those fun drinkers that doesn't get super emotional or belligerent when it drinks, you know? We all know someone that fits that bill. I personally remember many fun times drinking with my friends. Most of the time the nights were not even that great, but they always made for some funny stories after the fact. You know, doing stupid stuff that you look back on, it's like total facepalm. Like, what the hell was I thinking? I'm not talking about illegal things or even dangerous ones, just maybe something that made you look like a jackass, but your friends are laughing and having a great time. And it makes for a good story like we said. Anywho, the topic for today is taking ourselves too seriously all the time and finding what's funny in our life and our situations. I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts the other day, the Achieve Your Goals podcast with Hal Elrod. He's also the author of The Miracle Morning. If you haven't read that book, or any of those versions of books that he has, I would advise them if one of them pertains to your particular situation. Awesome shit. He had a speaker on one of his events that he curates with, and he had an awesome message. The speaker was Dr. Sean Stevenson. That's S-E-A-N, not S-H-A-W-N. The S-H-A-W-N Stevenson is the host of the Model Health Show, another one of my favorite podcasts. Anywho, Dr. Sean Stevenson is pretty easily recognized as he's only about 3 feet in height. He goes by the 3-foot giant on Instagram. His speech, or should I say stand-up, was hilarious. Very funny dude. I'll post the link in the description. I would highly recommend you checking that podcast out. He spoke about finding what's funny about our current situation. Being able to laugh at ourselves and not taking ourselves too seriously all the time will make the time we spend on this planet much more enjoyable. We have to laugh more, guys. Like every day we should be laughing, because laughing has been shown to have some pretty cool health benefits without ever touching a weight or even doing some cardio. Laughing can reduce blood pressure in some people. It can reduce anxiety and negative emotions. It can boost our immune systems. It can sometimes help as a natural antidepressant. Laughter can reduce stress and even alleviate pain. Not only are there health benefits, but it can connect us to others. That universal language, you know? If you can laugh with somebody, you're already more connected to that person on a deeper level because you're connecting with a shared emotional response. I mean, most likely your closest friends are the ones that you're typically laughing the most with. If I were asked who do you laugh with? It's pretty much all of my family and my friends, aka the people that are closest to me. Clearly, laughter is a part of that deep connection, making our relationship stronger. Laughing just makes you feel good. Sean also said this in his speech, that everybody just wants to feel good. That's what we all want. You know, no one wants to feel bad and about anything, especially feeling bad about themselves. Laughter isn't the only thing you can do to make yourself feel good, great, fantastic, even unstoppable. These aren't secrets written in a book that have yet to be found by Indiana Jones. You know, most people already know what these things are, they just won't do them. Do you want to feel better? Do you want to feel less anxious, less depressed? Of course you do. Do something for somebody else. Work out. Eat healthy. Sleep. Laugh with the people you love to be around. Our only sources of happiness should never come from snack cakes or material possessions. Unfortunately, we're all told we are unhappy unless we have the latest and greatest of everything that has been marketed to us. We're told what true success looks like, and everyone that does not meet these exact criteria are failures. It's so easy to feel like we are not enough when the internet makes it seem that everyone has everything you want. It's bogus. But yeah, the best way I know to feel good is self-care, and that's all the things I just listed. Take care of yourself and you'll naturally feel good. That said, we do not want to do it for the right, we do want to do it for the right reasons, so we don't want to take care of ourselves to please anyone but ourselves. This will keep us from developing unhealthy relationships with things like exercise and food. Remember, taking care of ourselves internally will show up externally as well. So like we've said before, the goal should be about being the healthiest we can be, and not just looking as good as we can be. Looking as good, as we can is a side effect of taking care of ourselves. Just saying. Either way, feeling good about ourselves is important, and being able to laugh at our shortcomings is key, because no one is perfect. Caring too much what others think will never make us feel good. I figured this out a little before I met my wife. I cared entirely too much growing up of what others thought of me, especially women, but it brought me nothing but unhappiness and depression. When I finally allowed myself, to be myself, most of that anxiety and depression went away, and then taking care of myself through fitness, eating right, and sleeping, well, that changed me for the best. Forever. Of course, we don't want to be rolling up to a new job interview with pajamas, and I haven't shaved in a week. Of course, we need to care about being professional and presentable and a good person. When we care too much about, how others view us, we lose our confidence and become that person that worries about everything. And not being confident in ourselves and what we do is a serious disservice. Confidence in our skills can be supported by others' praise, but doesn't necessarily stem from them. We have to focus on those things that we know that we do well, or work on the things that we want to be great at. Confidence comes from practicing your craft. The better you are at something, the more confidence you're going to have. The more confidence we have, the more likely we are to succeed. Think about it. Are you going to get a tattoo from someone that does not display confidence in their craft? No. You're going to prefer to work with someone that could tattoo the Mona Lisa on your arm with their eyes closed kind of confidence, you know what I mean? Same goes for anything else. People can read confidence, and they are generally pretty good at being able to tell if you're actually as good as you say you are. Anyways, getting a bit off topic here, the whole point of this rant is that it shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. I mean, be serious about your craft or your job, because that's important to keep us professional and show that we care about what we're doing. I'm just saying, lighten up a bit. And if you're met with a less than optimal situation, try to find humor in it. Doing this on a daily basis, can hopefully help us put us in a better mood, maybe reframe some of the negatives into positives, because that's practice. Remember, you gotta practice doing that. I know certain things are going to rub you the wrong way, but practicing finding humor in our everyday mistakes can ease some of the stress that we tend to build up. Stevenson advises you to ask yourself, what's funny about this? And he gave a hilarious example of him on an elevator with a back scratcher trying to press heat-sensitive buttons from his wheelchair. It was hilarious. Again, I recommend checking out that episode. Again, links in the description. If there's anything you can come up with that maybe bugged you, but you were able to find humor in it instead of allowing it to ruin your day, let me know what you came up with over on Twitter or Instagram at @It'sThugWigNasty. You know where to find me. I mean, we can sit there and stew about an embarrassing situation and let it eat at us until we're so stressed out that we won't put ourselves out there anymore. Or we can just laugh it off, recognize no one is perfect, and move on with our lives. Remember from a previous episode, it's what we focus on that tends to come to fruition. So if we focus on that embarrassment, we're likely to give up on ever doing that thing again. If we focus on improving for the next time, then guess what? Well, we'll probably be more prepared, be better at our craft and our skill, and we'll most likely be way more confident. So that's all I got for you guys today. Don't be so serious, keep it light, laugh a bunch, and be happy. Perhaps we found something humorous last week, but let's check out in the LWR. So last week, guys, some bad news. There were no streams last week, but I did do some stuff for the podcast. We'll talk about it a little bit in next week's podcast, but I'm starting to put some pieces together to make things a little less stressful, a little bit easier to manage, and, try to be more efficient to allow some extra time to do other things instead of making such a difficult process week in, week out on this, 15-minute podcast. So yeah, no streams last week. I played some games. I enjoyed Anthem last week. Played probably to level 22 last week. getting up there. You know, we're not very far. They put out the day 1 patch a little bit early, which was supposed to reduce some load times and some other problems that other people were having. I didn't have any too many problems. The load screens are a little bit long, but it is what it is. I still enjoy the game as long as I'm playing with some buds. It's pretty fun. And the actual release was last Friday on the 22nd if you didn't have Origin Premiere, so now the rest of my buds can play. So we got more buds to play with. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna enjoy it. If you guys are on Xbox, did I just say Xbox? If you guys are on PC, make sure you hit me up and we'll play some games together. So also last week, I started working on my design side of things. So I have the It's Thug with Nasty side, which is all video games and this podcast and all that stuff. I'm not going to be changing this name, even though I'm not really streaming anymore. But I do know that in my 10-year plan, it does involve me improving my skills as a designer. So this is what I originally went to college for. I am a digital artist by day at work. We're not super creative, but I want to get back into the super creative side of digital art making. So I would love to go back to school and finish out my degree, which has been just kind of sitting there forever and not doing it. But we got some crazy stuff going on this year, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it in, but if I can fit a class here and there, I think I'm going to do it because I really want to push towards this 10-year goal of mine. And I'd love to be able to do creative work where I'm actually being creative and not just manipulating art on a daily basis. Again, I got a solid job and I'm going to be there for a long time, but I would love to do something more creative and really be able to express myself. So getting some more skills in and practicing that kind of stuff is going to be great. So if you guys haven't followed me already, I actually just pretty much reformatted my Instagram from my fitness YouTube that I was trying to do, which that was terrible. Anyways, listen guys, we got to figure out what we're going to do. You know, we have to try things, we have to fail at things, we got to figure out what we like and where we should be, but I know where I need to be now. And yeah, so if you haven't followed me already, it's called Ronald Joseph Design. It is on Instagram. There's nothing on there except for my old muscle method pictures. So yeah, if you want to see another side of me, head on over there. We're going to kind of convert it over into my design page since it's already a little more well established instead of starting a whole nother Instagram page. So if you're into art and design, go ahead and follow that Ronald Joseph Design on Instagram and, you know, check out what I'm able to do and what I end up posting there. I don't know exactly what's going on yet. I just want to have some place to put something if I need to put it there. Oh, social media storage. Anyways, appreciate you guys listening once again. I know I'm just kind of rambling here, kind of got a lot of stuff on my mind, thinking about a lot of stuff, and yeah, you got to plan. You got to plan for that future, guys. I see that 10-year goal. I see where I want to be in 10 years, and then we work back from there. What am I doing today to get me to that goal in 10 years? Like, what can I do right now that pushes me towards that goal? Every single day. What can I do? All right, guys, be good. I will catch you next Monday on the podcast. Reach out to me if you got any questions or anything. I will answer them on the podcast as well. Until then, see you next week. Sweet.